Well, hello everyone, and welcome back. It's been a little while now, about 2 months since our last tropical system of note. We do have, it looks like, an organizing system here in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. You can see here on our satellite imagery right at the last frame there. I'm not sure what happened, but you can see this system, kind of some spin here, these clouds, and some of these storms really popping up. The National Hurricane Center here, as of 4 o'clock Central Time today. Today is Sunday, September 8th. We do have our first advisory on this system. So it's not quite a tropical storm just yet. The next name will be Francine. And it does appear very likely that what we're going to see is that over the next 48 to 72 hours, it's going to move kind of north, generally pretty much due north towards the Texas Louisiana border region. So definitely can't let our guard down in Houston. Obviously, they've already had some interesting weather this year and Hurricane Beryl here about 2 months ago. But Houston to Lake Charles to Lafayette, Louisiana, all of those areas along the coast certainly need to be very watchful of this system. So let's take a look at exactly kind of what we're seeing right now. Let me go back here and look at our forecast cone here. This is from the National Hurricane Center. Let me get rid of my arrow. So again, this is as of the 4 o'clock Central Time advisory. So we do have sustained winds 50 miles per hour here. Again, they haven't quite named it a tropical storm, but 50 miles per hour would be getting us pretty close to that, tropical, well, really already to that tropical storm force. I think it's just a little bit disorganized at the lower levels for it to be named just yet. Again, moving northwest at about 5 miles per hour. Center, as we saw there on satellite, is kind of down here in this southwestern Gulf of Mexico, Bay of Campeche area. And it's going to move a little bit to the west, but then start to move more northeast towards that Texas, Louisiana area here over the next couple days. So this first advisory has it at hurricane strength as of 1 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. So sometime probably Wednesday afternoon, evening is where we might see landfall. And again, somewhere from anywhere, even a little bit west of Houston to around that kind of central Louisiana coast, all of these areas are well within the cone of uncertainty here and could see a landfall, but certainly impacts, whether it be rain, wind, very rough seas, that type of thing. And there is a little bit of a chance that we could see this storm, overperform and certainly strengthen more than what's being anticipated right now. So, very dynamic system here. When we go and we look at, again, what some of the ensembles are showing, this looks at not just one single model, but lots of them and kind of shows their individual outputs and then combines them all together. And so what we can see here is that general consensus remains that it's going to move kind of off to the northwest at first, then north, and then kind of northeast. And most of these track it somewhere, again, probably east of Houston to about that kind of central Louisiana coast here, some sort of landfall. What we can also see is that there's a good number of them that have these orangish, almost reddish colors that would correspond to some of these lower pressure readings, which would mean a stronger storm. So it's definitely not out of the question that we could see some rapid intensification with this system, which again will be named Francine, assuming that it continues to develop. So this is one kind of potential that we have here. We can look at another one here, again, pretty similar, maybe a little bit further off to the east here. But again, several that strengthen considerably, even a couple outliers that go a little bit to the west here. So again, that's why Houston, we can't let our guard down for people there right around the Houston area. Hopefully not, given that they already went through a lot with Beryl, but we'll see. And when we look at our GFS model, this is our Sunday afternoon GFS model. Again, this is just one single model, so we have to take this with a grain of salt. But what we can see here is it starts to develop over the coming hours, really intensifies here pretty close to the Mexico coast here in the Gulf. And then as we move forward in time, it starts to move north, kind of scraping pretty close to the Texas coast. Then it starts to move northeast. And we can see this would be by about mid-afternoon on Wednesday. We've got a pretty strong hurricane. This is definitely one of the more bullish models, 964 pressure. This is probably a category 2 hurricane, I would imagine. And it's showing a pretty tight circulation, moving kind of off to the northeast, and there by about sunset on Wednesday evening, landfalling there somewhere around that kind of central Louisiana coastline. So, this is one of the more impressive models. It definitely intensifies it more than some of the others. Again, just one model, but I wouldn't completely rule out this type of a scenario taking place. So, definitely really have to keep our eyes on this. Could be a significant storm for sure. Again, right now it's pretty disorganized as we can see. There's kind of this circulation to the north along this kind of collapsing front, along with this now circulation to the south. As those are coming together over the next 12 to 24 hours, they're supposed to start to tighten up and definitely be more organized. But we have a lot of thunderstorm activity here. That does seem to show us that we're certainly seeing some intensification, probably a little bit more of that low level spin taking place. So, this certainly could mean business. So, definitely stay tuned to the National Hurricane Center, local, obviously, news and weather outlets for updates, especially if you live in Houston, Lake Charles, Lafayette, anywhere along the Texas or Louisiana coast, or you might be down there or know friends and family down there. So, again, right now, not quite there yet, but definitely developing and likely going to be an intercept for me. Looks like possibly either leaving Dallas here maybe on Tuesday, but certainly Wednesday, maybe into Thursday, might have a tropical system intercept and possibly even a hurricane. So, hope this update was helpful. Hope everybody has a good rest of your weekend, and I'll see you back for the next video.